I'm going to switch over to service now, and I'm going to act as Lauren Bailey in this case. We can see that she's got an order 00123 scheduled for a delivery on the 16th, so tomorrow at 7 a.m, which is brilliant. And what we're going to do now is jump into Experience Cloud to see if I can understand. In this case, I've forgotten when my order is going to be delivered, and I also need to change when my order is going to be delivered because the site manager's told me it needs to be February now because various other components aren't ready. So the first thing we're going to get asked for is our email address. This is one of the instructions and actions that we've given. We want to make sure that we're validating who we're going to give information to. And we're also then going to ask exactly what we can assist with the order. So in this case, we want to know when it's going to be delivered, and we want to know what the order number is. So the reasoning engine can understand that 123 is the same as 000123. So just a little example of that there. And what you'll see is this is going to pull back and show that our order has been scheduled for delivery tomorrow before 1 p.m. to the address that we have on our order record, which is perfect, apart from the fact that we want to change it. So we're going to ask if we can change that date, and you can see straight away we get the option to give a schedule for a new date. And what the agent is going to do, it's going to go away and pull back available time slots for delivery based on the information we have in Salesforce. So in this case, we want the morning slot, and you'll see that the reasoning engine can also understand that based on those various different actions, we can identify the morning slot as the 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. slot, which is, again, very powerful. So nothing more to do. So we're going to thank the agent for what we've done, and then we're going to take a look in the background as to how this works, just to give you a little bit more of a flavor. So you can see here against the topic details, we've got our order inquiries. This is one of the topics that we're going to be using. We have our classification description, so exactly what this topic is going to be handling. So users, orders, order statuses, order updates, the scope, so how far is it allowed to go. And then we've got all of our instructions in here as well. So scheduling changes requested, check for time slots, check for the date. If the package is lost, immediately escalate. So there are some reasons that we might want to make sure that we're passing over to a human agent as well. And so if we start to go through the same area here, you'll see as soon as we ask a question about our orders, then we have an update on the topics to say, okay, we're going to look at our order inquiries. We've got our audit trail of how the reasoning is being grounded and how we're getting to that understanding, which is, again, amazing for testing, but also for the audit trail that you might want when you're looking through and identifying new areas. So you can see that in this case, we've selected the action identify customer by email, and based on one of our instructions saying we always need to make sure we know who we're talking to. Let's pull back the contact ID, which is one of the elements that we need later down the line. So now that we've given our order ID, what you're going to see is it's going to reason that we need to do the action of getting the order. And as we can see here, it's put in the inputs of the contact ID, the order number, and that's pulled back the output that we need and the answer that we were given earlier. And now that we've asked to change to a new date, you'll see that we've actually swapped over to a slightly different topic. And this topic has been made specifically around scheduling issues and delivery issues. So it gives us a little bit more capability to switch between different areas and have sort of specialized areas for those topics, and a new set of guardrails and instructions when we're working through. And what you'll see here is we're then going to go away. We're going to pull back all the schedules. So you're going to see it goes out, looks for the time slots, pulls back those relevant time slots, which is perfect. It's exactly what we wanted. And now that we've popped the morning slot in, you can see that it's made the update based on the topic, which is perfect. It's given us our output, which is exactly what we wanted, and it's gone off and triggered various different actions in the background that we might want, an order confirmation email later down the line, and various other actions that you might want to make sure that, as a customer, you're 100% happy that that has changed where it needs to. So I appreciate it's a fairly whistle-stop tour. But again, any questions, feel free to let me know at the end.
Thanks very much for that demo, Sam. Hopefully that's kind of enabled you guys to start to see how these agents can help you win more business and or save time and costs within your business. So besides those sales and service use cases that we've just demonstrated to you, there are so many other possibilities with these new autonomous agents, right the way from having one sit on your website as an assistant to advise customers on the right journey, product, service, package or contract, all the way through to employing an agent to power your marketing campaigns. We pretty much, as I'm sure you can imagine, we predict that, we're only just really scratching the surface of what these agents can do. So on this slide, we've just put together a few suggested use cases for transport and logistics that we think could be relevant. We are actively working on more, so we're trying to come up with more of them, and we'd also welcome, any input from yourselves. If you have any great ideas or things that you want to know if they're possible, we're more than happy to have a chat with those. If we look at the first one, I think, imagine if you could strip out the admin in coordinating shifts, for example, or quickly and efficiently interview and onboard new staff and drivers. Obviously, that's always quite a challenge, I think, within the industry in terms of making sure that we've always got enough staff, both to work, within our kind of fleet of driving and delivery, and also within our hubs and depots. The second one, a bit of what we've seen, just today. So, supporting customers and partners. Obviously, it's kind of a bit different to other industries, I think, in terms of transport and logistics, because we've kind of got the person who's receiving something may not necessarily be the customer, but being able to differentiate between those two people and then helping them with, lost or delayed or damaged shipments, allowing them to make changes on the fly, like we just saw. We think that could be a real game changer with the agent interface over the top of it. And the final example that we've got on this slide is just looking at the ability to manage our supply chain. So within the industry, we're often managing stock levels of consumables because there's quite a few things that we may need to provide our customers with. So things like labels for putting on packages, the label printers to print them, packaging materials, if we have specific requirements to work within our network, things like pallets, containers, and basically allowing customers to be able to reorder those things or query things or get help and advice on them, just using natural language, just by typing a few commands, and potentially down the line, being able to actually have a conversation with an agent about that through voice. So I'm sure there's lots of other fantastic use cases out there, and there's probably already some fantastic ideas that you guys are thinking of already. So I think this is an area to kind of watch this space. We're definitely going to be adding more over time. Finally, I just wanted to say thank you very much for listening. Thank you for taking the time out today to come and join this webinar. We really appreciate that. Please do follow us on LinkedIn if you'd like to see more about upcoming webinars and content and information on Salesforce and AI. And also, have a look at the link here. So if you scan that, you can use that to book your free AI workshop. Once again, thank you so much for coming along and joining us today. We hope you got some value from it. Wishing you a great day at work. Thank you. And goodbye.